All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for showing up this evening for the District 4 community meeting. As I said before, there's quite a few competing events, the State of the Union, as well as the police e-bike event. I will endeavor to just pin this. I'll endeavor to get this video onto YouTube on my council page as soon as I'm able to do so. So those who are not able to make it are able to attend. Before we get to our featured speakers, great speakers, Alan Sanford and Jeff Jones. We'll also introduce Mayor Jim Light. Before we even get to that, I just want to run through a couple things that have happened as of late. First, make you aware of an event taking place at the South Bay Council of Governments. This is on March 28, 2024, starting at 9 a.m., will be a free General Assembly and about artificial intelligence, friend or foe for the South Bay, with keynote speaker, Representative Ted Lieu. Great opportunity to come here, learn about AI and how it's being used in government, as well as meet a ton of electeds from across the South Bay. Next item I wanted to share with you is this morning, we went ahead and did a tour of the Wiley Sump, which I hope to rename the Wiley Nature Preserve. It was myself, who you see here is Jacob Varvagos and Sheila Lamb, who you'll see in these pictures. This is the property in the Golden Hills adjacent to the Artesia Boulevard on the south side. You can tell that at this time, because it rained yesterday, there's a bit of a lagoon here, and I saw some ducks swimming in there. Really beautiful place. It's actually got a significant amount of trash and wiffle balls and pickleballs and tennis balls in it. I don't know how they got there. But another thing you can note from this property is that there are homes that look into it. And it is very steep, and it'd be extremely expensive to turn it into anything other than a nature preserve. In addition, it is a sump right now, meaning it collects our stormwater, and it collects stormwater not just from North Redondo Beach, but also Manhattan Beach, from the Golden Hills and the like. And so the water comes here after a storm, and then it drains through. But there are a significant number of native species in this area, and there's also some invasive ice plant that I'm sure that's Sheila Lamb, that I'm sure the South Bay Parkland Conservancy would love to tear out and replace with natives. So the idea here would be potentially just making an educational center, maybe perhaps building a viewing platform. We're very early on in the stages, the discussion of what could be here. But we do want to respect that this is a highly residential neighborhood with people who enjoy peace and quiet when they look over here. It just hasn't been maintained particularly well over the years because the city did not realize that it owned the property. So more on that in due time. In addition, if you watched City Council last Tuesday, you would have heard that we passed a motion to further advance pickleball in Redondo Beach. In the last year, there have been 6 new pickleball courts installed. All of them are, shared use pickleball courts, but not with permanent net up. But they seem to be working well everywhere in the city. There's been some concerns about basketballers not getting access to pickleball, so we asked for better signage and reminded our pickleballers to please yield the courts to the basketballers when the appropriate time comes, when pickleball hours are over. The council voted to add to the capital improvement plan, building, I think, 8 pickleball courts at Aviation Park. But that's unfunded as of yet. It'll be about $1.3 million. Adding pickleball courts to Franklin Park, Dale Page Park, and we'll have a further discussion about 2 months relative to dual striping 2 tennis courts, probably at Alta Vista Park for pickleball and tennis. So look forward to that. And of course, since the last time we convened, we appointed Jim Light as the mayor of Redondo Beach in the stead of the greatest mayor ever, Bill Brand. And I'll introduce him here in a second to say a couple words. But lastly, in District 4, I wanted to point to two things actually. First, you may have noticed the Pita Cafe opened up finally after 4 years here in construction, the pandemic. Then they had a contractor who illegally built a structure, had to tear it down, replace the contractor. They're open, and I did, or it's beautiful in there. They've got vegan food, they've got vegetarian food, and omnivore food. So do check it out, and I'd encourage you, if you like their food, go ahead and leave them a review, a great review on Google and Yelp, so we can keep this business going. I ordered the falafel plate with Shirazi salad and a tabbouleh plate. Was delicious. Finally, just an update on where we are on aviation and grant. We've gotten all reds lights there. So in the evening, when you drive up to that intersection, late in the evening, it should show you a red light. If you are driving at or below the speed limit, the light should turn green. This is coming down aviation or going up aviation. If you're going faster than the speed limit, then the light will stay red and you will have to come to a full stop. Aviation and Ford were still in the process of putting in those improvements, traffic improvements. So more on that in due time. And actually, really actually now, we have Saturday, March 30th, 2024. Mark your calendars. There's going to be a community event at the South Bay Galleria in the leasing office on the third floor next to the AMC, where they talk about their phase 2 residential development that they've made known is going to be necessary for them to be able to finance the reconstruction of the Galleria, the renovations and the modernization that they want to do, especially in this high risk, high interest rate environment. So where everybody thinks that malls are dead. So they'll go over the project with us all at that time. And if you have any concerns about it, you can voice it to them and to us at that time. And then eventually, sometime in April, this project will make its way to the Planning Commission. Once again, that's March 30th, 2024, Saturday, 9:30 a.m., co-hosted by Al Catterton, Councilmember Kalajerovich, and I. All right, without much more ado, I'd like to introduce Mayor Jim Light, who was born in rural Pennsylvania, spent his career as an aerospace engineer and has an MBA. He's also a former Air Force officer and a co-founding member of the South Bay Parkland Conservancy, former member of the South Bay Surfrider Foundation, local activist along Mayor Bill Brand for 20 plus years. So Mayor Light, take it over.
Thank you, Councilmember Obagi. It's a great honor to be here. Not a great way to get into the job. Bill was my best friend, so it's difficult to fill his shoes, but he asked me to do it. I was happily retired and loved working what I was doing in South Bay Parkland Conservancy. But when Bill asked me in his last day, I can't ignore that. And so I'm in for 13 months until the next council comes up for election, and the new mayor will take over for me. I've been steadfast that I am not going to run for any elected position. I'm here to fulfill the rest of Bill's term. And if you know our city charter, if it had been more than 2 years left in his term, it would have gone to an election. But because it's so short a time, they don't run a special election. The council appoints the mayor, and I'm honored to have been appointed by the council. Some of the things I want to focus on, I want to carry on Bill's legacy. So certainly focusing on moving forward the activities down in the waterfront and building that momentum, including the AES site in the harbor. I'm excited that the Galleria is moving forward and want to do what I can to help push that forward. The aviation and Artesia business area improvements. I want to see those get traction and buoy up the area around those business corridors. So those are the primary things as I come in. As I'm drinking from a fire hose in my first 2.5 weeks, there's a whole lot of other things that need to go on and need to happen that requires the mayor's support. So I'm just learning some of those things. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have a concern or there's something you think I need to focus on. I'm always glad for public input. That's why I'm attending community meetings like this. So thank you, Councilmember Obagi. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Mayor Light. And I want to commend the mayor on jumping in with both feet and really hitting the ground running. He hasn't missed a beat. He actually, as soon as we voted for him, he stepped onto the dais and started running the meeting because he's been a long time commissioner on the Harbor Commission. And he's also, he forgot to mention it, but he's also been, before he was even appointed as mayor, he's been an activist on helping us fight the metro expansion down in our residential neighborhoods and keeping it on Hawthorne Boulevard. He did that walk with Metro with all the residents about a year back or so, and has promised, actually, as part of his interview, to be appointed to go with us and represent the city at the Metro Board hearing, where it's decided which route should be the locally preferred alternative for the county. So. All right, now we'll move on to our featured speaker, who I'm sure you all are here to see. We have Alan Sanford of, I don't know, so many organizations, but at least Beachlife Festival and Cal Surf Club. We're very privileged to have Alan, not just here at this meeting, but generally in our community. He's a South Bay native and has invested heavily in all of the beach cities, but especially Redondo Beach with the Beachlife Festival. He took a risk when nobody else really thought that we could have a music festival at the Seaside Lagoon, envisioned something there that nobody had even dreamed of, made it a reality. Then we got hit with COVID, so it took a year or two break, a year and a half break, and then brought it back and has done tremendously, bringing some of the top talent in the world, including Gwen Stefani, Jack Johnson, and many others to Beachlife Festival and Redondo Beach. So with that, I'll turn it over to Alan Sanford. Thanks for being here, Alan.
Thanks for having me, council member. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to having a chat. Would you like me to do just a quick overview of the surf club or a general update?
Sure. Tell us, if you want to give it one update about what's going on with Beachlife Festival and what people can expect in May and beyond, and then jump into the surf club. If you can feel free. If I don't know if you have a slide deck, you can share your screen or just tell us about the surf club. Happy to do that.
Cool. I like talking stories, so I won't bore people with a deck. As far as Beachlife goes, we're in full swing. For those of you that haven't heard, Sting is coming to town. We're also live streaming the event with the proceeds going to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So that is a huge feather in the cap. We've got, I think, 53 bands. Something for everybody, from Trey Anastasio to Courtney Barnett to Incubus to, I think, one of Mayor Light's favorites, Steve-O. But we're looking for another great time, and we're busy preparing and executing. So we hope that the weather does us well, and we have another successful Beachlife. There should be some new, exciting kind of additions to the site plan that we're working on that I won't quite give away. But there may or may not be a fake large lifeguard tower that we're building. There may or may not be some added new talent over in the sand area. It's going to be exciting. So
awesome. Look forward to it.
Yeah. Butterfly is 60 days out, and it's a tremendous logistical undertaking, but we're excited. And for those of you in the music world, Redondo is officially on the map. And I can tell you that a lot of artists want to play the festival, so all good stuff. That's also we're also balancing the construction of the California Surf Club, which is going to be a little bit tricky. For those of you that have been down near the waterfront, we're under where all systems go. Some really interesting exploratory history in those buildings. The previous building plans couldn't be found in the city, so we've done a lot of research. We've actually come up with some really interesting photographs and old stuff, but we're busy in demo and in early construction framing to build the California Surf Club, which we're really excited about. And I'm really happy to say that in our initial membership drive, we are doing fantastic. We've had great community support. We have a very large contingency of Redondo that is excited about it. And one of the data statistics I'm most excited about is that over half of the applications are family. I have a 5-year-old, like, as you guys know, and it's great to hear that there's a lot of families that want to be involved in what we're doing. So yeah, it's exciting times. And the last thing that we're doing in the city is we're almost done. Construction is a lot more difficult than it was 5 years ago. But we're almost done with the Beachlife Grotto, which is a seafood restaurant in the Riviera, with a general store and surf shop above it. So we've been busy at work there, and if you ever walk in the Riviera, you'll see me from 7, 8, 9 in the morning doing the interior design right now, but we should be opening that right around the festival.
All right, awesome. I've shared a link to the Easy Reader story about the beach life that was published. Oh, sorry, about the Cal Surf Club, which was published December 21st, 2023. What do you envision what should people think about when they think about the Cal Surf Club? Is it a private club like a country club, or is it something that's open to everybody?
Yeah, so uh, I think the story of the impetus of the surf club is relevant here. So as I've been down in the heart, as you know, I'm born and raised here. So been going to the seaside, or was going to the Seaside Lagoon when I was a little kid, long before chlorine, when the fountain had a bunch of algae on it and you couldn't even stand on it or you'd slip on your butt. But I took my 5-year-old daughter down there maybe a year and a half ago. I took her out paddling in the harbor, had a fantastic time, came back, and I just didn't want to leave the area. Had such a good time. I just wanted to hang out. And I realized down there that there really is no place to hang out. There's a few restaurants, but other than that, we got a big parking lot, and the lagoon, I think it was a September day. So the lagoon was all, closed up for the winter. I had also been temporarily leasing the Chillers building as a storage facility for beach life. And the epiphany was, why not build something that everybody can go hang out at? And instead of just sitting in a restaurant, eating and leaving, something that people could spend their day on the ocean and the waterfront, what we love the most, hanging out. And so what we ended up concocting with my partner, Jeff, who's here too, is we ended up thinking through joining the two buildings, partially for economic reasons because the Chillers building was so dilapidated. But more importantly, we wanted to not have to build a new kitchen in that Chillers building and use the entire building for fun stuff. So we built the California Surf Club. It does have a membership component to it for those that want to get really deep in the beach life and in the programming of it. And by programming, I mean, we'll be doing yoga, we'll be doing surfers workouts, we'll be doing something that I'm really excited about, fireside chats, which is just storytelling around leadership and life experience, chef classes, whiskey and wine tastings, all sorts of really fun stuff we'll be executing on the programming side. But it's still a public location. The restaurant that's currently Ruby's will be the restaurant of the California Surf Club, open to the public, open for everybody to enjoy. We're building a ton of beautiful deck seating that is adjacent to the Seaside Lagoon. We finally have a place down there to look at sunsets outside. And then on the club side, on the membership club side, there'll be a day rate for anybody that wants to come in and just enjoy it for the day, very similar to the Seaside Lagoon. The last thing I'll note is that there's two other membership types. One is the ambassador, the other is the groundswell. The ambassador is a non-paid membership for people that have been exemplary leaders in the community. So we are taking applications if somebody thinks that, they know somebody that's just a rock star in our beach life community, where there's an application form on the website. And then also the groundswell is for people that we believe really live the beach life, but that may not otherwise have the means to afford being a member, but really want to be involved. We want this to be inclusive, so we also have applications on the site for that as well.
And
a lot of talking.
how do people find out about membership or get themselves on the wait list if there's a wait list for membership?
Yeah, you just go to the CA Surf Club, California Surf Club, but it's www.casurfclub. Our director of memberships is another born and raised individual from Hermosa Beach, Chris Brown. So you just drop a line on the website. There's an application, and Chris will be in touch within a day or two. We really are building this thing to provide service and consumer service on a different level on the hospitality side. So very easy process to get involved in.
So you just go to casurfclub.com. I'll drop that in the chat. Go to apply now. That should pull up an application, read the disclaimers or information, and put in your email address and your phone number. So easy peasy. Nice. And I see that, is Jeff on?
Hi, Zane. Yeah, I'm on. Thanks for having me.
Howdy. All right. So those who don't know, Jeff is a GM or owner at Quality Seafood, and has, I guess, co-founded the Cal Surf Club with Alan Sanford. Jeff, anything exciting happening at Quality Seafood you want to share before we jump into the surf club?
Sure, Zane. I'll share a little bit about what's going on. We just finished celebrating our 70th year down at Quality Seafood. We're on the International Boardwalk. And a little backstory for the folks that don't know about us. Quality Seafood was founded by my wife's family 70 years ago. Longtime Redondo Beach roots. Cassie's father was a class of Redondo Union 65. My wife, Cassie, was a graduate at Bishop Montgomery. And still have family living in Redondo, and we're proud to be in Redondo. There's a lot happening down there with revitalization, including repaving the boardwalk with pavers and some new signage, and a lot happening over the course of the next 12 to 15 months.
All right, awesome. I know my daughter loves going down there and checking out all the crabs and lobster. Every time we go down the boardwalk, she's dying to go by Quality Seafood, and we love the ceviche there too. I don't know if you got to hear what Alan said about Cal Surf Club. Is there anything you wanted to add about why it is you wanted to help make the Cal Surf Club happen?
Well, yeah, Zane, as you know, I've talked to you and several other council members and the Harbor Commission about just putting fresh ideas and fresh movement into the waterfront, and getting down there and getting things open and making it look attractive and feel great for people to come down and spend their time down there. And I was part of the waterfront amenity project working group over the last year and a half, I guess it's been. And when the idea to put together the surf club came around with Alan, it seemed like a perfect fit with what was happening with the waterfront amenity project and the renewed energy into getting some movement in the waterfront.
Awesome. And for those who don't know, there's actually some dredging that's taking place right now in the waterfront. They're picking up a lot of the soil that's drifted into there through all these storms as part of the $10 million Army Corps of Engineer project that's about to start with rebuilding the breakwater. Alan, how has it been? How has it been working on this property that's kind of so on the edge of the coastline, probably closer to the water than any other property you might have dealt with in the past?
It comes with its challenges. Other than the weather, this might not be the super popular sentiment, but there's some challenges down there right now. There is, I wouldn't take my daughter there at night right now. Let's put it that way. We've had our copper stolen. We had graffitied all the interior 2 nights ago. So, I think that we're going to get it done. It's a massive project, and I think we're well suited to do it. But I think one of the things I've really stressed to the team is getting it done quickly. Nobody wants to see a construction site for another year. So we are pressing to get this done by Labor Day. Don't quote me on it, but the gray hairs are popping out of my head daily to execute and to get that done. It's a beautiful canvas. We all know that. But it's been quite some years since there was some TNC putting into it.
Labor Day this year is Monday, September 2nd, 2024. So, have you given up on hope on having it done by the first Beach Live?
Oh, yeah. I gave up hope on that
A
before
while
the
back.
year. Yeah, that ain't happening.
And I
We
probably
also, and one other really cool thing to share. I have to say the community support has been unbelievable, and also the support in the surf and skate culture. We just got Wyland, who all you guys know painted the wonderful whales back in, Jim, when was that? 85? It's got to be in the 80s.
It was in the 80s. I don't remember the exact date. And then he came out a few years ago and touched it up, but it's long in the tooth.
I remember him on actually doing it. But anyway, I was talking to Wyland, and he's willing to do another mural on the north building. So during Beach Life, he'll actually be starting that mural, which is super cool for those of you guys that love surf art. Very cool.
And from what you showed me, that's on the parapet above the.
Yeah, I'm about to put a picture actually here.
That is.
So what they're talking about is Wyland would put in a mural over here on what was formerly the Ruby site. Is that right?
Yeah, that is what we're working on right now. So we're working through concept, and the game plan is for him during the festival to be starting that mural.
All right, awesome. And that's the Spring Festival, Beach Life Ranch.
That is May 3 through 5.
Oh, got it. Okay. All right, awesome. Let's see. Anybody have any questions for Alan or Jeff about the California Surf Club? They have. Let's see. Yvonne, go ahead.
Hi, good evening. I just wanted, it's not necessarily for Alan or Jeff, I guess it's more council. I walk that area every morning, and in the last 2 days, Sambas, and I'm guessing this is part of the damaged graffiti that happened over at on the rocks, but Samba's windows were all graffitied. There was a building that's on Torrance. That was my first council meeting that went until 1:30 in the morning, and the poor guy that took that old winery and made it into a house, they got graffitied all along the side on Torrance Boulevard. And I think the concern, I'm with you, is in the evening, it gets a little shady down there. So with the California Beach concept coming in, we're excited about it, but what kind of security or what kind of policing, cameras, whatever that we can do in that area? Because even with Samba having all their their signs up that says they're on a 24-hour camera watch, they still got graffitied on every window. So I guess going forward, I'm kind of reaching out to you guys and the council as to what will we do to protect this, because I think it's a good thing that we're doing, or you're doing.
Sure, Yvonne, good points. And thanks for letting me know about all that. Good thing is we have the mayor here, so the mayor can take it up with the police chief and find out. And frankly, I will too. Whenever there's crime anywhere in the city, it's a problem that all of us need to pay attention to.
Yeah, I'm texting it. I'm texting the police chief right now, but there is Access Redondo. You don't have to even wait to contact one of us. If you go on Access Redondo, you can take a picture of it and send it in, and they'll get on it.
He'll get it cleaned up. But
You're
what I'll say is this: is that when we have the problem right now is, come the nighttime, all the construction crews leave, and all those properties are vacant, unattended to, and there's no cars parked in the parking lot, or very few cars parked in the parking lot. People provide security. In addition, lighting provides security. They haven't erected all the lights that will surround this place. The first thing police tell you is, actually, as part of the codes to build homes in Redondo Beach, there's a lighting plan that you have to put in place, and it comes from the police department's recommendations. Because when you have motion detecting lights, you get a lot more, you get a lot less people willing to intrude graffiti and the like. But in the interim, between now and the time that we have an active population down there enjoying the restaurants, including Samba's, because it's not open 24. It's not open every day now. The police can deploy. They do have cameras that they can deploy, very expensive cameras that they can deploy at problem sites, and they have deployed at problem sites. And I imagine that it's probably about that time for them. I don't want to speak on behalf of the chief, but probably about that time for them to deploy those cameras over there, and they can monitor them on a live stream to see if there's any activity that's taking place. But of course, the top thing that I can recommend to everybody is, if you see something, please call the police department and I'll drop in the Slack channel or the chat channel the police department's phone number on the non-emergency line, because they have a drone now. They've had a drone, and the drone can get there extremely quickly. Any site within I think a minute and 20 seconds to any site in the city, and spot any crime in progress. And 25% of the time, they're able to locate the suspects that are responsible. I realize if you catch it the next morning, probably it's a little too late there. But
And over 90% of the time, over 90% of the time, it's the first response from the city. So it beats the police from arriving.
Right. Anything else, Alan, you want to share on that?
Well, I'd concur with you. I mean, the biggest problem right now is that there's nothing down there past 7 p.m. Except for us toiling about with Beachlife. So I think with the California Surf Club, the former chief of police, Keith Kaufman, is helping us with security. I serve at I serve as the chairman of the Police Officers Foundation, so I'm very close with Chief Hoffman and the others. We all know it's an issue. It's like whack-a-mole right now. But when we get down there and our building gets erected, and like Councilmember Obagi said, lighting is key. We plan to light that thing up beautifully, like we do with Beachlife. I think you're going to see a big change. My goal is to be able to bring my 5-year-old down there. So that's the level of security that we're hoping for.
Yeah. And, putting back on my council member hat, the city is responsible for maintaining the safety on public property, but ultimately we can't be the security service for every one of the private properties. And it is also the responsibility of the private property owners to, even during construction, put up what deterrents they need, and maybe even get security, because we have had thefts there. We've had a break into Joe's Crab Shack where they took out a lot of kitchen equipment after that was vacated, and as Alan just said, they've had thefts of copper there and the like. So it's going to take a team effort with everybody pitching in for security. All right, Miss Butler.
Hi, everyone. Alan, question. Any thoughts about expanding into North Redondo?
I've been asked that quite a bit, and yeah, I have actually we looked at putting the Rockefeller down there pre-COVID. I think that there's some great things happening with some code changes that are needed in North Redondo. I think I'm the small business, friendly small business guy. And I think there's some things that actually the Councilman Obagi is working on that I think will really help. But yeah, uh, I think Redondo has great potential. I just met with the Galleria folks. I like what they're doing. There's a few things I gave a little bit of feedback, but overall, I think that that's going to be a a tremendous driver for new growth down in North Redondo. But in the next 12 months, I kind of got my hands full. So it's definitely on our minds. But I can't tell you that I have plans right now in the near future.
And then you said there's some code things. What are some of those things that you're referring to?
He's probably
Um,
referring to, parking changes. We just rolled back the amount of parking that's required on every site, especially for restaurants. We've made the ordinances more flexible, where restaurants, if one's open during the day and another one's open in the evenings, like a coffee shop and a restaurant, they can share parking. They can borrow parking from the city. They can count the street parking that are vacant under the ACAP study towards their parking requirements. We've already expanded the FAR floor area ratio from 0.5 to 0.6. That's a 20% increase. We have environmental review currently pending to increase that to 1.5, which would be a 300% jump. It would be 300% the amount that was, previously the cap on Artesia Boulevard of 0.5. And we're looking to make an investment in terms of acquiring property on Artesia Boulevard for the city. That'll be in our closed session this upcoming week, so that we can potentially lessen the burden that new businesses have to carry when they try to open up on Artesia Boulevard.
Okay, thank you. So Alan, is that kind of what you were referring to regarding the issues as to why
yes.
when you were looking at Rockefeller? Okay. So
And
does
there's all sorts of little tricky planning and building requirements, but I've had some conversations with Councilman Obagi, and I think he's got a good handle on the beginnings of making some significant progress up there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anybody else? All right. Alan or Jeff, anything else you want to share about what's happening down there, or what the future looks like? Yes. By the way, can I show construction photos that I took a couple of days ago?
Sure. I would just invite anybody to reach out. Now's the time. A lot of times the community doesn't get a chance to participate in the building of something or giving their feedback, but right now we are an open book. So if you're excited about it, if you have feedback, if you think you've got some cool ideas, we would love to hear from you. And Zein, I'd love for you to maybe put my email in the chat, and I would welcome anybody to reach out.
Sure. Actually, now that
Alan, my name is Karen, and I have a question about what areas surrounding the surf club will be open to the public.
Sure. I mean, the entire surf club will be open to the public. So there is nothing that's not open to the public.
And looking at this picture, something that stood out to me is just the number of people working on this site and how bare bones it is. So clearly they've had to gut it, reinforce some support. And as you can tell from this third picture, there's a lot of stuff on this site because it's facing the ocean, and because frankly nobody's dug into the walls for so long that they're having to get rid of molded, deteriorated wood and put in new support. So it's clear they're moving at a fast clip to try to get this ready and occupied, safer, and to beautify our waterfront, as well as give people a place to go. Sorry, was that Karen who asked the question?
Yes.
All right, I'll pull up a map of the area But the entire area around the beach club will be open to the public. The beach club itself will be, I think, open to the public for a fee. And then, sorry, I can't type in Seaside Lagoon.
So to even go to the restaurant, you have to pay a fee?
No,
Oh.
no. To go to the restaurant, there's two buildings. The restaurant is a public restaurant, open to the public, just like you would any other restaurant. Then the south building, which was the former Chillers building,
Uh-huh.
be the membership building, or the day rate building, which again is open to the public, but would require a fee similar to the Seaside Lagoon.
All right, so let me pull it up here on the map.
And the private launch dock behind there, in between the club and the ocean, that'll still be open to anybody without a fee?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's not within our scope. That's a public
So-
amenity.
Here's where the beach club would be, is this structure right here connected with this structure. And this path over here would remain open. And there would be, at least on this side, vehicular access, if not the whole way through. So there's something else I was going to point to here. But another thing, Karen, that you need to keep in mind is we have a $3 million redesign of the Seaside Lagoon underway currently. And as part of that redesign, we're envisioning and hoping to get a Seaside Lagoon that is open year round. Now, it might not necessarily be for swimming year round, but for other activities, be it fire pits, barbecues, what have you. We're hoping to make this an amenity, concerts, and amenity that people can use throughout the year, not just for 3 months in the summertime.
And that's going to be, the city owns that still?
The city, yeah. So it's not the city owns it. We hold it in trust for the state. It's in the Tidelands, and that's why the state has given us $11 million or $10 million to. Although Mayor Suchi just said $11 million recently, so $11 million to renovate it. And we're hoping that, we're expecting that it'll cost between 25 and $30 million to complete the modernization and making it a year-round facility that does not pull in ocean water, but keeps the same water there, chlorinated, etc. Because we keep getting fined by the state. Interestingly, we hold it in trust for the state, yet the water board, a state agency, fines us because every time we drain this place and dump the water back out, they say there are minerals and metals in the water that weren't there when we pulled it in from the ocean. And that's because we pull it in through the power plant's intake system, and that's where we get it. And they have obviously minerals and metals in their water that we can't exactly filter out before we put back into the ocean.
Thank you.
Absolutely, thanks. Ms. Butler.
Thanks. So once the Seaside Lagoon is done, what do you envision it's going to be? Is it going to be like a park? Like what can we expect? I know you said it was going to be open year round, but I know when it's 3 months out of the year, it's like a, play area, right? Water stuff,
Yeah,
things like that. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's a controlled beach, if you will, safe for kids in the summertime, a big lagoon. Alan's actually on the and Mayor Light was formerly on the Seaside Lagoon Working Group, so they probably could tell us better than I can what it's shaping up to be.
You want me to jump in there, Alan, or do you want to?
Sure.
Yeah, so I think we're starting to get towards a final design that will go out to the public, the Harbor Commission and the council. It's been a lot of back and forth, but right now the footprint is expanding a little bit because the park will expand up to the edge of Alan's building to the south. Where that sidewalk is, the Seaside Lagoon will go right up to his wall. And then there will be big gates on the west side towards the hand launch boat ramp, and not that the southwest side. I'm sorry, Zein. A little to your right, a little bit over near to Alan's. Right in that area. That'll be a gate that we can open when the Seaside Lagoon is closed, and then up by somewhere up around the Rubies to Portofino Way, there'll be a gate that we can open so that people can walk through the whole site. And then we will put up temporary fencing around the lagoon, which during the winter time would be a lot smaller than it is during the summer. So we'll have what the concept was called the Great Lawn concept. And so it will be more of an open park in the winter with a small lap kind of swim feature remaining. That's about 25% of the size of when it's full, which will also facilitate beach life and beach life ranch. And then we are talking amenities such as fire pits in there so that you can enjoy it on cooler evenings and sit there and look out over the harbor waters.
Awesome. Thanks for that.
I think that and by the way, if anybody has any feedback on the lagoon too, I would love to hear from you. But I think the dilemma that the city has is that there's a beautiful piece of land right next to the ocean that is locked up for 9 months a year. And it's a puzzle trying to unlock that while having a water feature. So I think, in just speaking for myself as a community member, I would love to see less fence and more usable land, if not just to hang out all year round. And I think that's the challenge that the architectural firm's been given by the city.
Yeah, and the other thing that the city has to balance out is when there is a water feature there. If you've ever been to the Seaside Lagoon in the summer, you see crews coming and testing the water every hour to make sure that the chlorination's correct and the like. And as a Department of Public Health requirement, there are obligations to maintain water quality for those public waters, and they get pretty filthy due to kids getting in them and the like, and some going potty in them. So that's why the city has been historically charging for admission, because there is a significant cost associated with lifeguards and water testing, and then obviously selling at the concessions. What I certainly hope will happen in the Seaside Lagoon improvement is the modernization of these shacks. You could imagine that if you get some good restaurants or vending stations at either of these, this is a restroom right now, but at this shack or expand it, make it bigger, maybe even make an outdoor type food court, there could be a real draw for people year round.
So Zein, the idea isn't to put more concessions in there. We do have a requirement on Allen's conditional use permit that they have walk-up windows like we had with Ruby's, so that people can get food in there. And the buildings we're working on where they're located right now, but primarily they're targeting being able to program those if someone wants to rent them out for an event. The westernmost building you pointed out is a lanai, so it's like an open shade structure today where people can rent out to eat
Right.
Food that they bring in. And the other building is the showers. The building with the green roof is the showers, the ticket stand, and the bathrooms.
Cool. All right. Let's see.
But on this picture, you can see where the old walkway is up from Seaside Lagoon to, there was a window at Ruby's where you could get served, and that's in the CUP for the Ruby's side of Allen's and Jeff's development.
All right. Anything? Oh yeah, thanks for putting in your email address, Alan. Sorry. Alan at the beachlifefestival.com is where you can find Alan Sanford. All right. If there's nothing else on this topic, then I will revert back to, we can cut you loose, Alan, if you'd like. And thank you for coming. Anything else you want to add?
Thanks for having me. I hope I see everybody down at watching Sting in a few months here. So
thanks for being here. Thanks for all your contributions and dedication to beautifying Redondo Beach. And bringing capital investment to our waterfront, which is essential to revitalizing it.
We'll see you on the water. Thanks, everyone.
So yeah. All right.
Thank you, Zein. Thanks for having me as well. And I would like to tell everybody that if you have any kids or grandkids or youngsters that want to come down and check out something cool, come down and check out the dredging in the harbor. It's quite a show. And also a reminder that the Kite Festival is on Sunday down at the pier.
Yes. That's right.
Come on down, check it out.
Oh,
and
can
if
I give a
you're in the
reminder
neighborhood,
too?
come say hi.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Good reminder. And I'll repeat that. The Kite Festival is on Sunday. I believe it starts at noon. Is it? 12 to 3 in the Esplanade area, or I guess next to south of the pier. In addition, we have our public safety open house from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sunday. They'll have music, fire trucks, their armored truck, the bear truck, food truck, shaved ice. You get to meet some police officers, see some canines, and last time they were letting kids operate the fire engine's fire hose. So that was pretty cool. Ms. Butler?
Oh, I was putting in the chat. But this Saturday, March 9, so it's this Saturday from, I want to say it's 9:30. Yes, 9:30 to 12 at Anderson Park. There's going to be a fitness fun day hosted by the Kiwanis. So there's going to be sack races, obstacle court, pickleball, basketball, hula hoop, tic-tac-toe, Zumba, volleyball. There's a huge soccer wall. It's going to be really fun. So
Awesome.
hopefully people can join.
I'll put that on the screen as well. This is at Anderson Park.
I put it. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you.
Fitness fun day. Should be pretty cool. 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. So great to get out there in the morning. And it'll be here on this field. I guess that'd be the northeast.
Anderson. Yeah, Anderson
Park.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for that reminder.
Sure.
And what I will share, as long as y'all are here, about the Galleria is what the Galleria has right now is entitlements to build 300 units. What they've made it known to us is basically, despite having 300 units, the lenders have wanted them to go ahead and add more residential units. Now, as part of our housing overlay for complying with the state's RENA residential housing needs assessment requirements, we did provide a housing overlay on the Galleria site for 350 additional units. And that's what the Galleria folks had studied during their first EIR when they were first proposing a remodel of the mall. And so now the Galleria has indicated, those folks, Al Catterton, that they will seek an additional 350 units on the site. And they want to do community outreach before they go to the Planning Commission on that subject. So a good thing to know. That's coming down the pipeline. After that, if they were to get, those entitlements, they expect that they would be able to close on their funding by January and start construction on the renovations by January 2025. As I've told them, and they said it's an accurate analogy. I feel like the Galleria is a patient on the table, and we're conducting CPR to it to try to keep it alive and get it back to life. But basically, everything that could go wrong for this mall, in terms of the pandemic, in terms of the drop in retail shopping, the loss of lender confidence in malls, has gone wrong. So, but I do feel like they are the best company in the position to bring life to this area. So I'm trying to assist them and facilitate what they are trying to do as much as possible, so we can get investment in this critical area. And so that meeting will be Saturday, March 30th, 2024, 9:30 a.m. at the 3rd floor of the Galleria next to the AMC. Is there anything else anybody would like to talk about? or have me tell you about, update you about?
Councilmember Obagi, I can give a little update on the AES site, and I also got a response from Chief Hoffman already.
All right, awesome.
So Chief Hoffman said that they were unaware that this level of graffiti was going on down there. So he's gonna take some of his folks and make sure they're patrolling the site. He's also gonna explore. We have some private security there since the skate park went in, and they're gonna look at upping that to tackle some of the what's going on at Allen's site and with the spray painting on Sambas. So he was unaware of it. He encouraged folks to call in as soon as you see something like that, just as Councilmember Obagi did. On the AES site, just some quick updates. They are decommissioning the plant, and we'll do that over the next month. The 220 kilovolt lines have already been disconnected, and the natural gas has been capped, and all the natural gas systems feeding the turbines have been purged. They're also removing some of their toxic materials like ammonia that they use to scrub the exhaust, so that they remove pollutants. Those are being removed. Some of them, they're removing the whole tanks, and others they're draining and purging the systems that were there. They do need the lower power lines, the 66 kilovolt lines, because that is what supplies electrical power to the plant for lights, safety systems, security systems, and things like that. So the 66 kilovolt lines will be there until the plant is shut down and is in salvage operations. As far as the power lines, we do have a meeting coming up with Southern California Edison, where we'll be talking to them about starting the activities to take down at least the 220 kilovolt power lines. Not sure what their response is going to be yet.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for being on that and trying to get those power lines down as quickly as possible. I know
Sure.
that whenever I drive south, I
I-
drive down 190th, and that's we see the power lines there.
Yeah, that'll be a big change. One other note, the wetlands down there that were documented during the application process for a new power plant, which failed, the Coastal Commission found about 6 acres. Since then, SBPC and the Audubon Society has documented around 100 species of birds that are using that as habitat. And from pictures that were recently taken, we believe that the wetlands has at least increased to 11 acres due to the rains and the fact that the dewatering pumps have been turned off at AES for so long now. Thanks, Zane.
Thank you, Mayor Light. Ms. Butler.
There's a question in the chat, and I wanted to make you aware.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it's not updating. I missed the first. Hey, Zane, what's the latest about Food Court Hall and Artesian McKay? Howdy, Derek. So the latest from the developer there was I texted him about a week ago, found out what's going on. Cute baby. Howdy, Brooklyn. Is that
I want my baby to eat at a nice place 2 blocks away.
right? Exactly. Oh, we're dying for that. Although Pita Cafe is getting there. But they submitted their plans. They got them spit back to them, saying, "Hey, these need to be changed. This or that needed to be changed." They resubmitted. They got them back again with more comments. So I just asked them, "Look, is there anything that you think is wrong with the feedback that you're getting from the city?" And he said, "I'll let you know. We're going over it with our architect, but we'll let you know. And thank you for reaching out." So I am keeping a very close eye on it because obviously it'd be one of the biggest projects, very close to all of us here. And so I want to make sure that they get underway as quickly as possible.
Awesome.
Question.
Thank you.
Thank you. And anything else? Great job at the memorial last Sunday. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was a team effort. Everybody at the city, thanks for coming, Jeff. And by the way, I want to say thank you to Planning Commissioner Jeff Rowe, who lives here a block away from me on Rockefeller, because he's been organizing these greenway or right-of-way cleanups, and they've been amazing. I mean, even if you get 8 people out there, that's pretty much all the trash in the area is picked up in on the street. So I went out there last week with my wife, and we had a great time doing it. But yeah, everybody from the city really chipped in to make that memorial awesome, and it was definitely worthy of Bill Brand to have 2/5 of the county government, county supervisors here to honor him. So that was touching, and thanks for emceeing it, Mayor Light. Mark, did you want to say something? You're muted.
Mute. Okay, there, got myself on mute. Sure, here's just a few things for everybody. Apologies if any of these were covered earlier. I just got back from another meeting. 4th of July, the city sponsored Harbor Barge fireworks were chosen versus drone show. Superior Court denied the AES owner's petition for apartments at C Lab with 35 apartment units. 3 upcoming events. Saturday, March 9th, Fitness Fun Day for Kids by Kiwanis, Saturday at Anderson Park. Sunday, March 10th, Public Safety Day, Fire Department, Police Department with all their great displays, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Civic Center. And also Sunday, March 10th, the 50th Annual Festival of the Kite, noon to 5 p.m. at the Redondo Beach Pier. That's it for me. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Mark. And Nancy.
Hi there. I wondered if there's any kind of update on that smoke shop you were discussing at the city council meeting. And what about that hookah hut?
Well, they have a constitutional right to open up. We can't really things that people have asked about are massage parlors and smoke shops. Can we essentially say they can't operate anywhere? And no, we cannot constitutionally do that. They're engaged in a legal business and they have a right to do it somewhere in the city. And historically, that has been allowed on Artesia Boulevard and PCH. What happens is, as rents go up, though, some of these places get priced out. I don't think that Manhattan Beach smoke shop is going to get priced out, though. They seem like they sink a lot of money into the shop and a lot of money into all those hundreds, if not thousands of bongs, expensive bongs that they have. What I'll say is this: while we can't do anything about the smoke shop, I did make a motion that carried to bring to council a discussion about signage on Artesia Boulevard. And I've started to gather photos, which if I can pull it up here in time, I will show you all. But there's signs on commercial buildings that are aesthetically pleasing, and there are signs that are not. And the big block red lettering on the smoke shop are not my idea of desirable letters. More desirable letters are backlit letters. The letters that have a light behind them, but the light's not shining through the letter. And I'll see if I can find some examples of it. I thought I created a folder full of photos. But as far as the hookah hut, what were you hoping to have done with the hookah hut?
Oh, I was just wondering, what the latest opinion on that was, and what you think it's contributing to the neighborhood. I know one of the owners of that grocery outlet told me sometimes they had sort of unsavory people hanging around outside of it at night.
Yeah, and I've heard that from Dave's old bookstore too. That at least in the past, that they've had people drunk in their parking lot, maybe throwing up or the like. The problem is everybody's got to call the cops. If you do not call the police at the time, nothing can be done about it. When the police come and they see that a nuisance is being caused by the business, now they can start to crack down on the business. But until somebody contacts somebody with authority to investigate or prosecute, I mean, you just heard Alan talking about the place getting graffitied, and the chief is saying he hadn't heard about it. I'm sure that if somebody had called it into the chief, it would have made it to his desk that these properties that are under development, that they're sinking millions of dollars, about $5 million into, are getting graffitied. He'd make it a top priority to ensure their security around there.
Okay, thank you.
But I wouldn't bank, Nancy. I wouldn't bank on the was it the hookah hut going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, all these businesses have a right to do biz in our neighborhood. And I did find the folder, so I'll show that in 1 second.
Oh, one more thing, Zane.
Yes.
If I could add, there was a little smoke shop over by Rite Aid in that little mini mall. And the guys would sit around smoking their pipes or cigars outside, but it's kind of out of the way. It's not really close to anything else. And somebody a while back had been complaining on Facebook pages that it smelled so awful and this and that. And I just wondered, are they allowed to have that smoking stuff there? I'm not opposed to it. I just wondered if they
They're not
bothered.
allowed to smoke outside the business, I don't think.
Uh-huh.
That's another instance of, call the police if you see it on the police admin line, which RB police admin line. Dispatch. I'll pull it up and I'll drop it in the chat. Dispatch 911 dispatch. Here you go. 310. The number is 310-379-5411.
Yeah, right.
And that is for non-emergency police dispatch. Otherwise, an emergency, please dial 911. And whether it's smoking, whether it's leaf blowers, gas-powered leaf blowers. Technically, all leaf blowers are still legal right now, but we did just vote to allow electric-powered and battery-powered leaf blowers because, frankly, our public works staff needed them to maintain our parks and streets, and we had problems on Grant Avenue clearing out the bulb outs from leaves because the trucks, the street sweeping trucks, are unable to get into the corners. And it's just too many human hours to sweep all the leaves from all the miles of street that we have here in Redondo and all the park.
Because there are, like leaf vacuums they can use too and not be blowing it around. They could be grabbing it up rather than blowing it.
Yes, and I mean the idea behind when our public works crews use leaf blowers, they are just corralling the leaves into a location
Exactly.
and then picking them up. But there have been suggestions for leaf vacuums, and we've heard those, and we can take those up for discussion.
Okay.
When the ordinance comes back to us.
Righty.
Thank you, Ms. Butler.
Okay, last question. I wasn't going to ask anymore, but then Nancy made me think of something. I know we have a moratorium or something that limits the number of massage parlors that could be open on Artesia. Do we have something like that for smoke shops too? And if not, can we?
I am not aware of a moratorium on massage parlors on Artesia Boulevard, but
maybe it's not the right word, but I think there's something where it limits like how many can be open. There has to be like a certain number of businesses in between where one is open to another one, something like that.
I can look into that, and I will look into that. I'm not aware of that
Thank you.
right now off the top of my head, but potentially. I do understand it's a constitutional thing that, at least I understood that from the city attorney. They have a constitutional right to be there, and I remember studying that in law school.
Yeah, I know Laura MD was telling me that there was that for the massage parlors, that there has to be a certain number of businesses in between from one to another. So if there is, it would, I think the neighborhood would, or the neighbors would love it if we could limit the smoke shops the same way. But I mean, I understand. I mean, we want businesses to open on Artesia, and I know sometimes like those are the businesses that'll open because, they're making money or whatever and can stay open. But at some point, it does get to be a little bit too many.
Sure. And what I imagine is as the businesses on Artesia Boulevard evolve and the ordinances that have held back Artesia Boulevard for these decades are removed and replaced with ordinances that invite more investment. So when the FAR, the floor area ratio, gets changed to 1.5, I think we're going to see, I expect that we'll see properties get bought, demoed, and reconstructed. And at that time, the rents on the properties are going to be too high for a place selling just tobacco, like the Sandbox, or a massage parlor that's charging $40 or $60 per massage. It's going to necessitate probably an alcohol or food and beverage establishment, or some other establishment that's generating a good amount of revenue from their retail sales. So, but I will look into that and any regulations that we have on massage parlors.
Thank you.
Yvonne.
Okay, I just want to understand about the smoke shop. The gentlemen that smoke outside the smoke shop by the Rite Aid have been doing it for umpteen years.
Exactly.
And I think that, is there a restriction in public in Redondo Beach of smoking areas, or so many feet between the doors? Because I can tell you the airport doesn't have it anymore, and they used to be very strict with it.
Yes.
Before we start a barrage of phone calls to the police department about people smoking outside of a smoke shop, if they're being obnoxious and loud and doing other things, I can understand that. If they're smoking, I don't think we should probably overindulge in our police department for people smoking on a sidewalk.
Sure. So here's a good thing is our dispatch, we do have our own dispatch department. So we're not relying on some other agency. We're doing it in-house. They're not terribly busy. They're just responding to Redondo Beach calls. They're busy, but not, not overwhelmed. And when you dial that number that I put in the chat, it goes to the non-emergency line and is put behind all the other calls. With that said, I think the phone rings 3 or 4 times before somebody picks up. And if what you are calling in is not illegal, they will tell you, hey, they're allowed to do that. We can't do anything about it. They're pretty direct. They don't mess around. But there is a law, RV Municipal Code Section 5-9.102, that's prohibition of smoking, except as otherwise provided by this chapter or by state or federal law. Smoking is prohibited in the following locations: public places, the interior place of employment, area within 20 feet of any door, window, opening, or vent in a public place, into a public place. So I believe that those shops, outside those shops, would count. And here's where it's permitted. It's a private residential property other than those used as childcare or healthcare facilities, within a moving vehicle, and that's pretty much it. Business owners, with permission of the property owner and landlord, may request the creation of a designated smoking area to be located on their property. I doubt that they have a designated smoking area, there. But again, the best solution, if you find it offensive, is to call the police. Otherwise, avoid the area. All right. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you all for being here, being engaged. And we'll keep you updated as soon as, well, I guess I'll see you all on March 30th if you can make it. And if not, then I'll keep you updated with my newsletters as I have. Thanks. Take care, everybody. Stay well.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Mary Light. You were muted if you said something, but.
Oh, thanks for the invitation, Councilmember Obagi. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on here.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.